And welcome back to Saturday Report. I am Rita Cosby. A pro-abortion activist group is planning to protest outside the homes of 6 conservative-leaning Supreme Court justices. Bipartisan senators have now introduced legislation to provide those justices with basically 24-hour security, around-the-clock security. This comes after the abortion ruling leak, and also they're planning to protest these left-leaning groups tomorrow at a number of church services around the country. And joining us now to talk about all of this is former HUD Secretary, also founder and chairman of the American Cornerstone Institute, and author of the upcoming book, Created Equal. Dr. Ben Carson, so great to have you here. And also happy Mother's Day, by the way, to Candy tomorrow, your wonderful wife.
Well, thank you, Rita. It is a happy Mother's Day because, I think about the influence of my mother on my life. She was the wisest person I ever knew, even though she only had a third-grade education.
By the way, in your book, you shared this story, and you are such a great example. You talk about the role your mother played. Here you were, a young guy in Detroit, and your mother made you read books, and that's what changed everything for you, right?
Completely, because it broadened my horizons. It wasn't just the borders of Detroit. It was the world. And as I started reading about incredible people of incredible accomplishment, I began to realize that the person who has the most to do with what happens to you in life is you. It's not some circumstance or some other person. And I just stopped listening to all the people who were negative, who were saying, you can't do this, you can't do that, the society is stacked against you. I just said, I'm chucking that stuff. I got more important things to do.
And by the way, you went from not doing well in school to being first in your class. So what's your message to other people out there about opportunities?
That we are so incredibly fortunate to live in this nation where opportunities abound. And there are many who say, well, they only abound for certain people if your skin color is the right one. But I want people to take notice of people like Nigerians, Ghanaians, people who come here from other places. There's no wealth gap there. But if you go and you study those families, what you find is that there's a tremendous emphasis on education and a tremendous emphasis on family support. And if you take traditional Black American families who have those same values, education and family, there's no wealth gap either. So maybe we're looking at the wrong thing.
Great points, Dr. Carson. I want to ask you, because there's been so much in the headlines, of course, about the Supreme Court leak. And some of the left have gone so much further than even the issue of Roe v. Wade. They're saying civil rights, human rights, segregation. They're taking all these steps. What's your reaction to that?
Well, obviously, they're trying to frighten people. This is what they do with misinformation. I just find it fascinating that the Department of Homeland Security is talking about a disinformation agency when they're the ones who are putting out all the disinformation. Trying to frighten people, obviously. None of that's going to happen. What we should be doing, all of us, is celebrating the fact that we're bringing such an important issue as life and death back to the level where it should be, and that's with the people and with the representatives of the people, and not with 9 justices who are appointed for life who have no obligation to the people.
And yet those justices, Dr. Carson, are really worried right now because a number of their home addresses have been put out there by these far-left groups. We're also hearing that church services tomorrow, as we're talking about Mother's Day tomorrow, are going to be interrupted, supposedly, by a number of members of other groups who are not happy with this draft decision. And you know what's really frightening, Dr. Carson? Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, who's going to be there for about another week, she refused to condemn the possible protests. I want to play a clip and get your reaction, because I feel like they have a responsibility to come out and say something, but this is what she said when she was asked about it.
I think our view here is that peaceful protest, there's a long history in the United States and the country of that. And we certainly encourage people to keep it peaceful and not resort to any level of violence. Let me tell you what I was referring to and what the president was referring to yesterday. We obviously want people's privacy to be respected. We want people to protest peacefully if they want to protest. That is certainly what the president's view would be.
So he does.
What's your reaction when you hear that? I mean, she should have said, don't do that. That's not appropriate. Don't go to the highest court justices' homes. Keep it civil. Yet it was like, well, you know, let's protest peacefully. I don't think the justices would feel it's civil if they're outside their front door.
Well, Rita, can you imagine if the tables were turned and it was conservatives going to the homes of the liberal justices? I mean, it would be like they would be screaming to high heaven that this is the worst thing that ever happened. Democracy is threatened. All of our lives are threatened. They'd be going nuts. The double standard is unbelievable.
It is truly, truly unbelievable. Well, Dr. Carson, thank you very much. Again, the book is called Created Equal, and it's great to have you with us this Saturday morning, Dr. Carson.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Always great to talk to you, my friend.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.